Welcome to my beginner's guide to blocking. In this video, I'm going to explain how the block mechanic works in this game, and I will also give you a few tips on what the best shields are to start with. So if we go here to our stats, defense stats, we have two stats that are related to blocking. We have block chance and we have block damage reduction. Block chance is the chance you have to block an attack, and then if that roll is successful, the incoming damage will be reduced by this amount, block damage reduction. Now, both of these stats have a maximum cap of 80% each. So block chance, maximum 80, block damage reduction, maximum 80%. It is important to note that you can only block physical attacks, whether melee or missile, but you cannot block elemental attacks. Also, if you are stunned, you cannot block. Your block chance drops down to 0 regardless of your equipment. And the same applies to your opponents. So your opponents cannot block elemental damage, and if your opponent is stunned, he cannot block either. Now, the main contributor to your block chance and block damage reduction is your shield. This number that you have on your shield, this block number, determines your chance to block. So, in this specific case, we have 634 block, and if we have a look at our block chance and our block damage reduction, you will notice that these numbers are the block chance divided by 10, expressed in percentages. So if you have 634, you will have 63.4. Now, another important point is look at the offense scroll. Your offense scroll will increase the value of your shield block, and that is both block chance and the amount of damage reduced. So for example, if I go from level 35 to level 36, as you can see here, my shield block will go up to 641 from 634. However, I think that the easiest way to check this out is to go to a test character. This character has a, let me drop everything, okay? And this test character has only level 1 offense scroll. So if we equip exactly the same shield, you will see that I only have 377 block, which means I have 37.7% block chance. Now, in a perfect world where you have a character with maximum offense scroll, which is level 50, and a shield that is at maximum quality, that means a quality of 1000 plus 400. As you can see, this item is fully honed. It has the 10 diamonds. The first 5 are white, and like this one, for example, you can see the first 5 are white. This only has 4 out of 5. But if you bring it up to 10, they get this golden hue or something. So this is fully honed at plus 400. So, as I said, if you have a level 50 scroll and maximum quality of 1000 plus 400, the number you will see here will be 768, which means your block chance will be 76.8. Now, certain shields, for example, for this one, has additional block damage reduction. This is one attribute that can appear on every piece of equipment. And you can also have increased block chance as an attribute that will also increase your block chance, but keeping into consideration the maximum of 80%. Now, as I said, if you have that maximum best possible shield at 76.8, you can add some points from your citadel. Here in the third tab, Ice Magic, you have block, and if with that perfect shield you add 4 points here, you will have 79.9%. If you have 5 points here to block, you will get the 80%. So at maximum level, with everything being perfect, you don't need any additional attributes for block chance or block damage reduction. Just your shield can give you everything you need and those additional 4 or 5 points from your citadel. Now, that being said, what are the best shields to start with? Because when you start, you're not going to have a maximum level shield. That's for sure. I mean, this one is very good, okay? Mainly because it's honed up to maximum. So 634, which means 63.4, is pretty good. But also certain shields, like this one, the Shield of Anthrite, have additional bonuses. For example, with this shield, you have an additional 20% block chance, which means that in combat, I will have 80% block chance and 63.4% block damage reduction. So let's talk about a few useful shields for new characters. The main one is the Guard's Shield. This shield can be crafted or found in dungeon number 1, and it adds 30% to block chance, decreasing by a specific amount each turn depending on the rarity. At Mythic rarity is 1% per turn, at Legendary is 2%, at Epic is 3%, and at Rare is 4%. So this is a great shield when you start because that additional 30%, even if you have a shield like this one, is only 434, but with this 30% on round 1, you will start with 73.4%, which is pretty good. Another shield is this one, the Shield of Anthrite. This is a very good shield. However, the problem with this one is that this is an unique item. The only way to get this item, because you cannot craft it and you cannot find it in chests, it's found here in season 1.1, but you cannot find it in dungeon chests. The only way to obtain it, if you go here, you can see the Shield of Anthrite. The game calls it legendary. I prefer to call them unique items, so to not confuse legendary quality with legendary type. And the only way to obtain it is in these caches. And the best chance is the ultimate cache that has a 4.02 chance to drop it at legendary rarity and 1% chance to drop it at mythic rarity. So this shield is very good for 2 reasons. Number 1, because as I said, it has an additional 20% block chance, but it doesn't degrade like the Guard shield that goes down by an amount of a percentage every round. This one is plus 20 block chance permanently. And the second thing is that every time you get damaged by an enemy, it has a 50% chance to inflict a random negative status effect. Also, the shield belongs to the Dragon King set, and if you equip 2 items for the Dragon King set at Mythic rarity, you will get, when fighting bosses or mini-bosses, there is a 75% chance to cleanse negative status effects each turn, which is a very, very good uh, buff that you get during especially events where have a lot of debuffs whenever you match certain types of gems. So this is a very good optional shield if you have ancient coins and you can spend them. Additionally, in order to hone a shield of Anthrite, let me see if I can show you with this one. This one is not honed. You will need to maximum level 24 Kasduli relics. And if you've watched my videos on honing, there are 3 relics that you can farm, and these 3 are the Kasduli relic, the Flame Tree relic, and the Dreamhold relic. These 3 are easily farmable in adventures. I don't have any more Kasduli because I already either transformed them or spent them, but the fact that it's so easy to obtain is a great bonus to the uh, Shield of Anthrite because it's very cheap to hone to maximum level. Before I talk about the third shield, let me go back to the guard shield for a second because there is something else to say about this one. And that is that if you have 2 guard pieces equipped, you will increase your block chance by 7% for each big gem on the board. This goes on top of the 30% bonus from the guard shield, so definitely as first shield is the best, hands down. Next, if you can afford a shield of Anthrite and you don't need it to be the guard shield, for example, with my Warlock build that I uploaded a video 2 days ago in the events dealing with level 164 enemies. With this one, you really want the guard 2 set. So in this case, I prefer to keep this shield for the set bonus instead of switching to the Shield of Anthrite, which obviously has higher block and better bonuses. But I really want that 30% additional armor for survival. And finally, uh, if you're playing the third shield I want to talk about, if you're playing a yellow build, don't pay attention to this. And this is just a build that a Frankenstein build that I have created for PvP, just to play in the lower leagues and the element locked tournaments, but don't pay attention to it. This is not a real build I'm using. But as I said, if you're playing a yellow build, one great shield is the Jeweled Tower. At Mythic rarity, it will create from 2 to 3 yellow gems when you block. If you have maximum block at 80%, it's a very good chance for you to generate extra gems for your build. However, obviously with the Jewel Tower, because it doesn't have those additional block chances, you want it to be of a very high quality, both the base quality and honed as as much as you can, so you can really get that high block chance. Otherwise, it's better for you to keep the others. Now, as I said, sometimes you want the shield for itself. Other shields you can use, it just depends on your build, and in many cases you will use a specific shield because you want to take advantage of the set bonuses that that shield provides and not as much due to the individual advantages or bonuses from that shield. But I think that those three examples are all I wanted to talk about for now. And this is how block works in the game. Now, one last thing, I already made a video on how to survive. Blocking is just one of the ways that you can uh, survive, but keep in mind that even at maximum block chance and block damage reduction is still only 80%. So do not rely solely on blocking. You're gonna need to have good vitality, good armor, and the other defense stats such as elite damage protection, missile resistance, and melee resistance to survive. Block is great by itself, but it's not the only thing, because if you depend on blocking to survive, well, 20% of the time is not going to work. So you better add more defensive options to your build. And that's about it. If you found it useful, please like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.